I'm here to settle the beef. Guys, as you know, I've been a good boy lately. No fights, just vegetarian, no beef. Until recently, I got in a little bit of a Twitter fight with the world's richest gambler, a man who supposedly made $360 million gambling and has nothing better to do than go back and forth with me. So I'm here to settle it today once and for all, because I admit I started off a little heated. I called him a dirtbag for making, basically his fortune off the backs of his viewers because he promoted to them gambling. And he didn't like that. He came back at me with both gloves off. He said, I thought he, meaning I, was a credible source until I read this trash, referring to something I had just written. And to that, I just have to stop it right there and say, you used to think I was credible. Now, unfortunately for him, this is the biggest cope I hear all the time. I used to think Coffeezilla was credible, but then he talked about me.
Now, actually, one recent hit video came out by a guy called Coffeezilla, who I actually kind of respected and thought had a brain, but whatever.
I loved Coffeezilla. And then he talked about my thing. We hear it all the time, okay? Let's continue, though. Let's continue. Let's not hold it against him. He thinks I glamorize gambling. Now I know where he gets his news from. He also says, this guy clearly doesn't watch, nor has he ever watched me. Everything he's saying is the opposite of who I am and what I do. Now, what is this in reference to, okay? Well, it's a recent revelation that Trainwreck's made. If you don't know, he's one of the biggest gambling streamers before Twitch banned gambling recently. And just 2 days ago, their policy change went into effect, meaning Stake's #1 employee, Trainwreck's, he just got released from contract, right? He's no longer employed by them because he can't really promote them. And because of that, he decided that, I guess, he's going to come clean and just say, what he made.
I'll release what I got paid since the beginning of my contract. I've been paid $360 million for 16 months of gambling. There you go.
Wow. Every time I've heard that, and I've played that clip multiple times, it's still always a shocking amount of money. $360 million in 16 months promoting stake.com. Now, we'll talk in a second about whether this number's real. It's been a lot of talk. A lot of people don't think it's possible that this number's real, even for the numbers we've heard on stake.com, which people get paid millions a month to promote gambling on there. It's excessive even for that. But we'll talk about that in a second.
I don't think it's real.
The point is, I responded to that by saying, because he posted this clip, or somebody posted this clip of him saying this, I said, what a crazy thing to brag about, getting paid $360 million to gamble. Trainwreck's only got paid that because he converted viewers into losers for the casino. What a dirtbag. I then say, it isn't complicated, gambling's addictive, it has the highest rate of any addiction, and that people...
I don't think he got paid $22 million a month, but I think he probably got paid 10. I don't think that's like... No, I mean, it's not only. No. It is still an insane number. So Stake thinks they can get that much money off his viewers? Yeah, I think so. When he was first starting off, he said, I make $1 million off of Stake a month or something. But I think a lot of that is just monopoly money. I think he's probably got I think by the end of it, he was probably getting paid around that much, like $10 million a month, most likely. Because think about it, he's doing 8-hour streams or more than that. I mean, he's doing 24-hour streams, but it's all gambling, right? He's constantly just gambling. To 30,000 viewers, that's a lot of conversions. Stake is a sponsor of Everton Football Club. If they make $360 million a year, it would be the most lucrative shirt sponsor in the Premier League. No, I think that Stake. You're forgetting that streamers get paid more than football teams do for their conversions. You're gonna say I'm crazy for stating this, but when you sponsor a football club, you're doing it for legitimacy. When you sponsor a streamer, you're doing it for direct conversions. So yeah, no one that watches Everton Football Club or sees that on a shirt goes, oh my God, I'm going to go gamble now. It is crazy. Yes. I bet he's including the money they gave him to throw right back in the website and that 360 number. Yeah, that probably is the money that he gambled with too.
Like Train, glamorized degenerate gambling. And this is where I lost my spotless reputation with Train, okay? Because according to him, he doesn't glamorize gambling. He calls himself, and I quote, the anti-gambling gambler. I'm not kidding. And if you could tell me what that is, if you could tell me how you can be an anti-gambling gambler, professionally gambling for millions of dollars, 16 hours a day, you let me know, okay? But I do want to take him seriously for a second. That's actually why I'm making this video. Is it true that you can not glamorize gambling while making hundreds of millions of dollars? Is that true? I wanted to kind of think about that for a second. Because my initial thought was, you know, there are probably better and worse ways to do it, but you're always going to be the least dirty of the dirt bags, if that makes sense. It's never really you're never gonna feel good about it. But I wanted to go over, you know, the full case. I wanted to go over why Trainwrecks TV calls himself the anti-gambling gambler. Because in some ways, it is true that unlike other streamers who used fake money, he claimed he used real money. Unlike other streamers who highlighted only their wins, Trainwrecks would highlight his losses, or I think it's Trainwreck.
Do not gamble, idiots. You understand? If you watch the entire context of all my gambling over 15 months, you'll see it as 99.8% fucking losing.
You might say that, okay, that's positive. You know, I can acknowledge that what Steve Will Do It was doing on Roobet was probably worse than what Train was doing on Stake, because Steve Will Do It was just kind of faking everything. However, do you know who actually made more money for the casinos at the end of the day? Despite all the claims of being like this like woke anti-gambling gambler? Train. By a long shot. He is one of the top gambling streamers, getting paid the most for his gambling content. And we all know why that is. These business deals don't happen from nowhere. They don't just make up the numbers. Oh, you get 50 million, you get 5 million, you get 1 million. They're based on getting people in the door. You get paid because you get people to play. You can shuffle the numbers around. What?
And it's not even, here's the thing. It's not even like every single person that gambles is converting. That's not their business model. I've talked about this so much, but you know, maybe there's still some new people who haven't heard me cover this a million times over. But the casino business model relies on what they call whales. What whales are lifelong gambling addicts, okay? That's why they can cast a super wide net and target every fucking outlet you possibly can where, you know, give people $250 for free for their first, sign-up bonus or whatever the fuck. And a lot of people, let's say, I don't know what the exact conversion rate is to whales, but like, a lot of people will just take the $250, okay? They will spin a couple times, they will lose, they will win, and they'll never do it again. But there is a decent chunk of people who will continue losing, right? So like you and Valorante, yes, exactly like me and my addiction to Valorant skins, even though I am horrible at the game. That's a great example. Yes. You are correct. I am a whale. Someone in the comment thread counted how much Train wagered? No shot. Where's the fucking... I can't even click on it. It's not working. We stream our Smash tournament. Wait, what? No, I'm not going to do that. I was joking on Twitter when I said that. Anyway.
Whatever, but you'll never get, your deal will get canceled if you're not pulling in the numbers. That's just the bottom line, okay? So the very fact that he says that I made $360 million. If that's true, he at least pulled in $360 million for the casino. That's basically that admission. And that's why I'm saying, wow, what a scumbag, right? So this is where I think as a streamer, no matter how based you are, you know, like Train's, you know, he puts in the top right-hand corner of his stream, like, don't gamble, you'll lose. And then the other 95% of the screen is him gambling. I think no matter how much you do that, gambling 16 hours a day, you can't help but glamorize it. Why? Well, because the opposite of glamorizing something is being realistic, right? That's obvious. And showing the reality of gambling would be Train would gamble for about 10 seconds, spending $1,000 a spin and run out of money. Instead, he gets to gamble 16 hours a day or 8 hours a day, whatever he does, for an entire 16 months, and he makes money, makes millions of dollars, right? That is a glamorous picture of gambling. No matter how much you preach about, oh, guys, I'm just doing it and making millions. I don't want you to do it. Oh, please don't gamble. Don't gamble. So no matter how much he talks about his losses, it can only be so real when he shows up the next day and gambles again. Now, I also want to quickly address the other side of this argument of personal accountability. Shouldn't people who gamble because they watch Trainwreck streams be accountable themselves? And yeah, to some extent, I think you should be. On the other hand, I only think you should take accountability when these streamers take accountability, because there's a whole other side to this. As much as people like Train want to say that the problem is no one wants to take responsibility for their own actions, he's the one who doesn't take responsibility for his own actions. He wants to be seen as some woke anti-gambling gambler, but also get to reap the rewards of promoting gambling and getting tons of people to gamble. He's unwilling to just own the fact that he made a casino probably over $360 million. Like, if people can be accountable for losing their life savings, why can't you be accountable for what you did? Here's the deal. They have no problem taking accountability when it comes to taking their cut of the check, right? Like, when Stake goes to him and goes, hey, here's your 20 million for the month for all these people you signed up, Trainwreck doesn't go, whoa, that wasn't me. That was their personal accountability. Nah, he's like, yeah, I promoted that. I got these guys in the door. You pay me my money. And fair enough, he did get them in the door. But as soon as he gets the slightest amount of social pushback and people are like, wow, that's actually pretty scummy that you do that for money, he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're accusing me of glamorizing gambling. It's like, yeah, you're paid to do that. You did a great job of it. Why can't he take personal accountability for that? That's sort of my whole problem with this, is like, people want it only on one side. They want the guy who gambled to take personal accountability, but the guy who got him in the door, no problem over here. No, we have to ignore this guy, right? That's sort of my problem with this whole thing. I think Train tries to, dismiss this fact by.
This is where Coffeezilla's like kind of libertarian attitude kicks in a little bit, where it's like, no, I think you can take it one step further. Like, he's right. Even from like the personal accountability metric, he's still right. Like, Train is not taking any accountability whatsoever. But I think you can absolutely go beyond that, considering that this is a damaging addiction that you are promoting. You know what I mean? Like, I do think that as streamers, we should be held to a higher account than the average watcher. And it's a reality that it's certainly a reality that we are faced with every time we violate the terms of service. Are you sweating in your own household? No, my forehead gets a little shiny after a while, so I'm just like patting it. When he's lucid, Trainers always admitted he gambles away everything he earns. The mental gymnastics required to justify the aspect of his life must be draining, so he clearly feels the need to boast about the good stuff sometimes. I can't see where the 70 million comes from out of that 360 million. Yeah, that's probably his payment. But that doesn't change the fact that he has publicly given away lots of real and crypto money to friends and strangers, including set up ambitious free-for-all who need mental health initiative. The streamers might sign up to to if Train stopped being such a dick about it all the time. Anyway, April, May, June, small bets, minor losses. July, minus 8.75 million. This is the total since opening the stake account in March. August 2021, I started with 30 million crypto, half in cold storage. I've gambled 7.5 million in the last 2 months, so I'm still okay. September, he's up by $4 million. October 2021, down by 13 million. November, 11 million. December, 4.35 million. You notice he's getting better at gambling. I mean, at least you got to hand it to the guy. I'm closer to a number I won't go below. 8-figure Train is not going to go back to 7-figure Train. Last night I lost 30% of my crypto after 13.2 million loss. No bullshit. Every morning when I wake up, it's like I've snapped out some alter ego addiction. And I'm sick to my stomach with how much I piss away on these slots. I'm like one stream away from being completely broke, as if the last 12 months never happened. No joke, even being at the top and having my level of funds, the stress and panic off stream is not even worth the LeBron James contract I'm being paid. Is fucking terrible. Just loss after loss after loss after hour. Jesus. There are days when it's so bad that I consider that some of my giveaway winners have more Bitcoin than I do. No data, but I see quote from 5/8 stream below. I'm down bad today. You don't want to know. Last 4 streams I was down 25 million or some shit. Last depot. I am not going down this hole again. In an astonishing but not really how well the math checks out, Trainwreck has wagered a total of $10.27 billion on stake since March 2021, as shown on every stream via his VIP progress percentage. Playing slots with an average of 96.5% RTP, his theoretical losses work out to around $359 million USD. One way of looking at these numbers is that Stake Casino received 19 months or so of great publicity, audience mostly young, mostly male, mostly gamers, and most definitely incentivized to move into crypto by Bitcoin-only giveaways for precisely $0. The slightly more dubious benefit for Train was holding off the worst consequences of his addiction for a few more months at the cost of being Stake's bitch. Also, Trainwreck does not love gambling. He's a pathologically addicted gambler. Anything he says or does, for good or ill, should be seen through that prism. Addiction does not necessarily make you a bad person, but it does very quickly make you an expert at lying to yourself and manipulating others. I mean, this is like a pretty fucking solid analysis, by the way. Yeah. In August, he spent 11 hours a day, nearly 70% of his waking hours, sitting in front of a slot machine on stream. We can only guess how much time he spent off stream thinking about gambling, or wishing he hadn't, or imagining if only he'd won, or dreaming jackpots, or scheming escapes, or making up reasons. Anyone who thinks anything about that is fun, or that any other amount of money can compensate for it, has definitely got it twisted. It's true. Amazing that I can watch a man lose enough wealth for 17 generations of your family to live like kings over the course of a year by clicking a mouse a few times. What a time to be alive. Yeah, but it's like, you got to remember, it's like monopoly money to a certain degree, because one, it's crypto. And two, he has like the casino is paying him a fuckload to gamble all that away. You know what I mean? Now he wants to start his own one. I'm going to create a platform or team up with one. Instead of only contracting large creators, I want to primarily contract small to mid-sized creators. Current platforms deem you irrelevant, but you are the backbone of the entire industry, and you deserve at least a little security. I mean, Bill Gates failed to do this. Good luck to Train. I suspect you'll be able to gamble on that website, but I hope it works out. I welcome additional competition to Twitch, so that Twitch will end up, getting their shit together and being better for their content creators. And literally did this. I'll make my own Twitch with blackjack and hookers.